This is DJ Blake, and I've finally broken into the band scene in Seattle. This next group is an alternative rock band from Everett, Washington. These three guys have proven that no matter what genre you're in, everyone has to grind. These artists have been passionate about music from a young age, and they're taking all the necessary steps to get their voices heard in Seattle. Ladies and gentlemen, the first band to be on the HHHNAST podcast, Counterproductive.
I played this riff 1,000 times today.
Welcome back, everyone. This is DJ Blake, keeping you up to date with all the hottest hip-hop news and sneaker talk. And today I'm with, I usually say a very special guest, but like you guys are guests, so very special. I'm with some very special guests.
We are one.
Yeah. And I'm with a band today, my first band, and I think that's kind of weird because Seattle's...
Taking your band virginity?
Yes. I'm honored, actually. And it's pretty dope because Seattle's full of bands. And when you think of Seattle, you think of bands, except if you're in the music scene right now and you kind of think of like hip-hop in a way.
I guess
you
so.
see that?
Yeah.
But I want that to be changed, because it is, I think it's a fluid all over. Like, it's not just bands, not just hip-hop, it's everyone. It's the whole music scene,
Yeah.
And literally, but I met you at like a hip-hop album release party, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so it was like Moondrop's album release.
Yes.
And he's like a guy that we met at our... Like we performed with him against him because it was a talent show.
Oh.
We actually won the talent show. So I was like,
hey.
But anyway, I knew him and from that, and we've connected. We wanna collab with him like sometime in January.
Yeah.
I love the guy. He's really cool, really wholesome, and
For sure.
Yeah.
Christian rapper.
Yeah.
Very wholesome.
He's got good music.
Yes.
Good music.
Shout out
definitely, too.
Moondrop.
Yeah.
Now, let me introduce these guys. This is a band called Counterproductive. And there's 4 of you guys, and 3 of you guys here today, right?
No, just 3 of us.
Oh, I thought you said, you guys all made it. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I knew that. It was just a test. Okay. So let's all introduce ourselves. I'm DJ Blake.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Isaac. And I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Isaac. Hi, Jacob.
Yeah.
I got it all right. Dope. So, for real, this is literally my first band, and I'm just excited to be here with you guys. It's kind of hard to get everyone together in one room, so we made it work.
The thing is, we usually have Sundays free because we always practice on Sundays. So
you're not like a church band, any?
No. Definitely not.
So I listen to like some bands, but I'm guessing there's like subcategories to bands, just how there is hip hop, pop, all that. Sure. So what type of category of band would you guys describe your guys' selves as?
Tough question already. It's hard to classify because we do a lot of different stuff. Our sound's really flexible. I think the way we like to describe ourselves is just with our influences.
It's definitely alternative rock.
Alternative rock, yeah. So a lot of like Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of sound. Both Jake and I grew up on Green Day and just pop punk in the mid 2000s. All that kind of stuff. So it's a big fusion, really.
Some people have said we're kind of like the Arctic Monkeys. Like we have influence from them too.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed though. You guys all said different bands outside of Seattle though.
Oh, Nirvana.
Oh yeah, Pearl Jam. Those guys. I forgot about those guys.
Yeah. Nirvana. They've got the power chord thing going on, and honestly, they're a little more angry than Green Day is. So, and we have that kind of like visceral energy to our music.
So what is the image you guys are trying to portray in the music then?
What'd you guys say?
I like to just bring a lot of energy. I think like the focus of our like project is just to have really, really good live shows.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when we go there, we want people to have a good time. So I think it's about the energy for me.
Right.
Yeah, and another thing, sort of like tertiary to the music is like we just want everybody who comes to our show to have a good time, to meet people, just be able to rock out. So we like a lot of our fans have like met each other, become friends just through like being at our shows and like being in proximity to each other, and that's something that I really enjoy and like take a lot of pride in.
And especially like just drawing people to just come back every time we get a show and, you know, feed off of our energy and go and actually help us spread the word of not only just when we're doing the show, but like when we have stuff, you know, that we're doing, that we're working on, that we're presenting to everybody who follows and supports us and everything. You know, we just want to be that drawing card.
Yeah.
Drawing card.
That's dope, though, because how old are you guys? All of you guys?
I'm 21.
I'm 23.
I'm 16.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
dope. You guys are pretty diverse also.
Yeah.
That's dope. So,
Well, actually, Sean and I are brothers.
oh,
Yeah,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're all brothers, but
Yeah, I'm your brother too, bro.
yeah.
So, you guys keep saying you guys coming back for performances, so that means you guys have been able to perform live, which is
Yep.
dope because like a lot of artists, when it comes to like hip hop or anything like that, they sometimes have a hard time finding a venue that wants them, you know?
Yeah.
So, how is it for you guys finding a venue because you guys are a band?
I can definitely speak to that because I do a lot of the groundwork on that. So it is really hard. Because especially when you're kind of like at the beginning level like we are, we have our first EP coming out in January, so it's kind of hard to just get venues to respect us as artists. But that's kind of like where we're laying the groundwork right now. Is we've got a few shows lined up. Like we're playing the Funhouse January 3rd, Tony V's on January 23rd, which is like a venue in Everett. And like when they give you these gigs, they're really like vetting you. Like you have to bring the energy so hard that first time, and then you'll get invited back. Like then you'll be able to get in touch with them. So like as far as like ways I get in touch with them, I'm a part of like a lot of Facebook groups actually.
Oh, yeah.
Like Facebook has groups called like Seattle Musicians, Northwest Musicians, Seeking Musicians, where you know sometimes like a group will just post, hey, we're looking for a band to fill in for our gig on a certain night, and we found some work that way. As far as like really starting out, like most of the shows we've played so far, like house shows or like stuff we've put together ourselves so far, and that's kind of
That's very important, though.
yeah. Because you have to show venues, because venues look at your social media, they look at what you've been doing, because they take it probably more seriously than we do, which is insane because we take it like it's so important to us, you know.
Yeah.
So that they're looking at our social media, seeing like what we've been doing, what live shows we've been playing, what like how we hustle, how we're gonna hustle for them. So so we played like a few house gigs and just wherever people will let us play. Honestly, stuff we put together ourselves, you know.
How do
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that, like, and also like we've even hosted our own house show.
Yeah,
that's
that was
dope.
really
Last
cool.
summer.
planning is really important because if you can't find someone to book you, book yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So what does it take for a band to stand out from another band? Is that difficult?
I think the thing is, like, every band has its own sound, and getting to the point where you can really have chemistry with the members of the people you're making music with is a hurdle that you need to get over when there's more than one person like putting everything together. And I think that we've kind of come to our place of zen with it all, and like we can like write a song like being together for like an hour, you know what I mean? I mean, minus the lyrics, like we can put all the parts together, you know what I mean? And so it's all about just like playing to each member's strengths, and you know, everybody's different, so the people are going to shine through differently than other bands do, you know? Yeah.
That makes sense. So what are the instruments or vocals that you guys do? Who does what in the band?
I do bass, some vocals. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm the drummer.
And I'm vocals and guitar.
That's
so
dope.
electric guitar mostly,
Right.
yeah. I think exclusively so far. We don't have any like acoustic songs yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the average size for a band? Like, are you guys like the average size, or like is it usually bigger or smaller? We can't be smaller than that, I don't think. 3.
I would say, like, you go to a show, you usually see a 4-piece band with our kind of music, at least.
Yeah. You usually have like a rhythm guitarist and a lead guitarist separate, and sometimes like the rhythm guitarist will sing as well. But like 4 or 5 is pretty standard. That's one way that we try to stand out, is like I think we're gonna stick to the trio thing for a
That's
while.
dope.
You know.
What made you guys decide to form a band in the first place?
Sean can talk about that, actually.
We had just moved here back in 2016.
Oh, from where?
Sean and I had moved here.
Yeah, from Virginia, because we were military growing up, so we moved all around. So we had just moved here. I had no friends. All I really had was music. So I just started jamming with a couple people I met from like being in the school band. I was 13, and so yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the only original member.
And then I kind of hopped in when it was just him and this other kid that he knew in middle school, and I kind of hopped in because to have music like this, you at least need 3 members. You know, you have to have a guitarist, a drummer, a bassist.
We were making different music before that.
Yeah,
it's just not really what we wanted to do.
Yeah, and so they just needed a 3rd member, and I was like, man, I guess I could do this for them at least until they find somebody new. And I fell in love with it, and then we met Isaac. He was playing at the community college that we were both going to, and he just blew me away.
Yeah,
with this performance.
it was. I actually met Jake on the day. It was June 1st of 2018, this past year. They had a showcase at Edmonds Community College. They call it Mosaic. So I had performed there for the first time because they do it like every spring quarter. So this quarter, I had participated and I performed. I performed twice in the show, and my first performance, I actually had a solo spot. So me and Jake just kind of connected after that, and so he was doing like some open mic stuff at the college around the time. So after the show, he asked me to come and be a part of the open mic. So I came. That was actually my 22nd birthday when they did that open mic. So after the open mic, that's when he asked would I ever be interested in joining him and his brother, because they were looking for a new drummer at the time. So went in, started rehearsing with them at their house, and I've just been there ever since.
What is rehearsing like for you guys? Do you guys just do it in your garage, or how does it work?
We got a little space. It used to be the garage of our house, but they turned a room upstairs into a garage instead. It's kind of confusing, but we basically got 2 garages, so we just turned one into a rehearsal space.
Can you fit a car into the upstairs one still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking your living room's your new garage. I'm like, what? So how is the community when it comes to bands, Because every community in Seattle has its powers and their struggles.
One thing that I've heard is that it used to be stronger in like the 90s and 2000s. It's tough. Like, it's funny because like you'll talk to people about like, hey, I'm in a band, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'd love to come to a show one time. But I think like the culture in Seattle is just so busy these days. So you really need to like form connections with people to get them to shows. Like almost pretty much everyone who's come to our shows are people that I've like talked to directly, and I'm trying to figure out how we can like expand that a little bit and get people to invite other people and get it to catch on a little bit. But as far as like between us and other bands, like some of the members of other bands that we've met are some of the coolest people I've ever met. Like they're just really cool, really solid musicians, like almost all around. Like there are very few like acts that we've worked with or played a show with that I'm like, I shouldn't have invited these guys. Almost all the bands that we worked with are really, really good. So shout out Astor House. We played a show with them this summer. They're really good. You should check them out if you get a chance.
What I've learned though, it's actually when it comes to Seattle, word of mouth is actually how you get around here.
Yeah,
because like you don't really see as many people connecting on Instagram in a way. Like I know some huge artists out in Seattle, and they don't have like any following really, or if they do, it's really small. Like Nestra, Nestra. He doesn't have that many followers, and he knows like Malcolmore. He's close with Malcolmore. He's like close with all these people,
Yeah.
So I just think because Seattle in a way is a tight knit community, it's just like tight knit to the point that's like clicky.
Yeah, I feel. Definitely. Definitely experienced that when we moved, or Sean and I moved here. Like, it was tough to kind of like break into the shell, but I feel like we're in it now. At least we're grinding in it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Go into that. How do you guys feel when you first came to Seattle? Like, how has it changed? Like, what did you guys do specifically so you were more welcomed here?
What do you think, Sean?
I mean, when we first started out, we couldn't really get gigs, couldn't play shows, and it was kind of through our own fault. I mean, our music wasn't very good. We were just starting out. We didn't know how to book a venue. But
I look back at some of those emails sometimes, just cringe so hard.
It's really bad because I was 13 too, and I was just trying to make a name, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But I think what we're really doing now, we're older. Jake's in college, Isaac is, and I think our kind of objective right now is to break into the party scene. And almost kind of reinvent it. Because I don't know, there's a lot of people that will just go to parties, stand around and talk, but if you've ever gone to like a house show where a really killer band was playing, everyone there is happy, everyone's having a good time. So I think that's
you'll remember it for a long time.
You will remember it. Right.
As far as just meeting people, like I used to be pretty quiet, just like let people talk to me. Like, and this is something I've noticed with like just in the short time I've known you, you just have to be so nice, so social, just be willing to talk to anybody.
Yeah, you have to.
Because
that's everything everyone sees as there's a wave forming in Seattle, and it's a music wave. It's not just one type of wave for one specific genre. So everyone in Seattle has to connect, which is different compared to any other city. Like the hip hop wave, they just have to connect. You don't really see like Atlanta, I don't think you really see bands connecting with rappers there, really, that, because they have such a big rap scene. They can just focus on that. The bands can just focus on the bands. But
and that, dude, the best music, like when I think of music, the best music comes out of that. For example, like I think Sublime is like a really great band, and the reason I think they're such a great band is because they mix genres together so well. And so if you could make like a community out of that, like something new and unprecedented would happen. You know what I mean? Like it could change music forever.
I'm excited about all of this, There's a wave coming. 2020, 2021, it's going to be Seattle's year, I swear to God.
I hope so.
So Isaac, how is it for you being a drummer? Like, do you gather any inspiration from like Questlove or anyone like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, 2017, I actually got my first opportunity ever to record drums because it was for a rapper friend of mine. He had came to Walmart that I work at in Linwood, and I didn't really know him at the time like I do now, but when he came through one day, he just saw me just kind of just like tapping on the register while I was waiting for a customer to finish paying for their stuff, because that's what I do, like if I get bored at work sometime. And my music always being in my head, growing up, and like since I started at a young age, I started playing drums at 4 years old. And so growing up playing in church, and that's where I still play. Shout out to Bethel Christian Church in Seattle. So music is always in my head. So sometimes if I just get bored, whether if I'm at school or work, I'll just tap around or whatever, make anything out of a drum. So he came up to me when I went on my break, and so he asked if I was a drummer. So I was like, yeah. So he said, do you so then he asked me, like, do you listen to people like Questlove? And I was like, yeah, I usually listen to him sometimes, like if I want to play something funky or whatever, get that roots type of beat. So he said that he's an upcoming rapper that is trying to get his album going. So he actually was looking for someone at the time who was willing to actually record some drum beats in the studio. So he asked me would I be able to do it. And since I already take like a music production type class at Edmonds, like going and actually like recording drums, like that wasn't a problem. So I said, yeah, man, just let me know. So he gave me a demo CD with 12 tracks, and he just told me to pick whichever ones I like, and just go and record over them and just get that Questlove type of beat. So yeah, like definitely drummers like him, Dennis Chambers, like all the funky groove drummers from the 80s and the 90s. That is like a big inspiration, and like definitely like people like Dave Weckl. That's who I grew up on when I first started learning out. So
yeah. Do you face any stigmas, prejudices being black in a band or anything like that?
Well, since I'm in a rock band, there not too many people would probably be used to see like black people in a rock band, but like one of my favorite drummers who I actually two of them that I look up to. One of them his name is Tony Royster Jr. He was in a rock band years ago. They were known as Lazy Eye, and they had like great music. They had like great rock music. And then another favorite drummer of mine, he's from Kansas City. His name is Josh Mayfield, and he toured with a pop artist named Carmen. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but yeah, it was like predominantly like he was like pretty much the only black person in the band, because they used to have like a black bass player too, but when they switched out musicians, like he became the only one. But for me, like I don't really seem too bothered by it. I'm just fitting into the game. Just getting in where I can fit in, basically.
Mm-hmm. Music's a pretty inviting place, honestly, in my opinion. So what community do you guys usually like work with when you are making music? Is it mostly just the band community, or are you able to get outside of the band community?
So generally, like when we write songs, in the past when we've written songs, it's been like me or Sean, like we come up with something and then we bring it to practice and we work on it. But more recently, we've kind of just been writing songs together in practice. Mm-hmm. I think beyond like our like live set, which is just like rock music, and beyond the stuff that we're like releasing on a regular basis, like we're honestly willing to work with anyone, like if they can improvise and sort of like keep up with us, mm-hmm. Which was really cool about hooking us up with King Swiper the other day.
Yeah, shout out King
he
Swiper.
could roll with it. Like he was a good musician.
Mm-hmm. So are venues specified just for rock versus hip hop? Like, do you see bands at the Showbox, WAMU, like that?
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen a band at the Showbox.
I've seen bands at WAMU.
Yeah. We actually went to go see Third Eye Blind there, but
and I've seen rap at WAMU too. But I think some places are really specific towards it. Some aren't. I mean, we've played a couple times at the Hive. It's just a underground punk venue. Mm-hmm.
So like all the acts are heavy rock, like some kind of heavy rock.
Yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, Tony V's, they're half rap, half rock. I've seen screamo death metal there, and I've seen acoustic singer-songwriters. It's just
whoever can draw at Tony V's, honestly.
Whoever makes some money.
Which isn't bad. It's chilling. It makes it like a more open community, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as much as you look at music as an art, we're kind of going into it as a business.
Right. Yeah. So the band community is pretty big here in Seattle then? Like when you guys are working with people, it's easy for you guys to find bands? Or how does that...
I mean, so the thing is, I know of lots of bands in Seattle. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find bands that are really solid and at the same time are like have a really, really good act and will draw people, as well as bands that will like show up when we ask them to, or that are willing to work with us because they're not so big. You know what I mean? I think that there's sort of like stratification in that bands with like I think people kind of judge you on like your followers on Instagram or like Facebook or whatever. So they think that like if you don't have a certain amount of followers, then they don't want to book you or play with you. But it's like I kind of see it from their perspective. Like I want people to come to shows too. So what was the question? Oh yeah, the how many bands are in Seattle? There's a good amount of bands, but it's hard finding ones that are worth working with.
Right. That makes sense. How do you guys promote yourselves? Is it different compared to other bands?
Word of mouth.
Pretty much. That's the main thing.
I do a lot of social media stuff.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is like just being willing to like send a message to somebody and be like, hey, we just released a new single, check it out.
Right.
I haven't gotten that a lot from other bands. I haven't gotten it from people that I know, you know what I mean? Which I hope it doesn't tick people off, but I think most people are cool with it, and the people that aren't, they just don't listen. So that's cool.
What made you guys decide this is something you want to take seriously?
Well, for me,
that's a big thing. That's a big question.
Yeah, for me, like just being in a band, just playing music, period, as a profession and as a career for me has just been a dream that I've always wanted to do as a kid. You know, like I said, I've grown up playing in church, and, you know, it's like they say, like, the best musicians come from the church scene. Like,
I actually see that all the time. I swear.
Because they play all the time, you know, they have so much experience.
It's insane.
And you know, just growing up, like, my dad was a drummer, and he used to play professionally too. So, you know, one thing he's always taught me as a drummer coming up is to, you know, just not be, you know, just so stuck to just one style of music, you know, and, you know, just being diverse and just listening to all types of music, you know, that's, you know, one thing I've grown up with as a kid, and just doing this as a profession and as a career. And, you know, everyone in my family either sings or plays drums, or I have a few people in my family that's preachers, but, you know, I wanted to take on the musician side. So, you know, growing up and, you know, sitting behind, you know, some of the greats, watching some of the greats, and eventually leading up to playing with some of the greats, because I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, when did you move here?
I moved here during the summer of 2012. Oh, wow. So I've been here for quite a while. So it was around, I was around the age of 14, like, when I actually started playing at church, like, with some of the best musicians from San Antonio. So, you know, just that's just something that I just wanted to do as a kid, like, just playing professionally, and, you know, eventually getting a chance to go on tour. That's always been a big dream of mine.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you guys all came outside of Seattle and then eventually all met each other.
Yeah.
That's dope. What do you guys each individually bring to the table, to your band?
I feel like I personally, I mean, I'm the younger guy, obviously, so I have kind of that connection to a younger audience, and I can bring out those people to shows. So, I mean, we've talked about this amongst ourselves before, and like, it's kind of funny because what we bring to the table is pretty synonymous with our instruments. I mean, I play bass, and I kind of just keep like a smooth, steady rhythm. I'll kind of be middle ground if there's some disagreement. And
people also say you're the big performer, like they come to watch you play, you know, for Sean. Yeah.
For me, since I'm the drummer and since I keep the beat going, you know, I just want to be able to just bring the energy that'll, you know, be able to, you know, get the crowd hype and get people going, like, and keep people dancing. And, you know, with the fans that we have, you know, a lot of them, you know, just like always look forward to hearing my playing, especially like when we get up to shows, because, like, you know, they always say that, you know, my sound, like, and I get this all the time, that my sound is different from other people. And, you know, that's just like mainly from, you know, just having a God-given gift. And, you know, growing up playing in church, you know, like, I just try to, you know, just have that different sound and, like, just give people something that they wouldn't be used to hearing, but that they could, you know, connect to. So.
And then I'm a guitarist, so guitar, and I do a lot of I sing a lot of our songs. And, you know, Sean sings a lot of our songs too, so I think with guitars, you kind of, like, beyond just, like, the very basic, like, I feel like rhythm is so natural to the way humans perceive the world and music, but with guitar, you throw in melody, and you throw in, like, pitch that kind of, like, stands out, and tone, and I think it kind of gives the music its color, its character. I think that kind of comes out. It's the same thing with being a singer or a vocalist, and it, wrapped in that is kind of just like I think like the artistic vision, you know, of like what it all means, you know. It gives context to the listener. As far as like outside the band, like I do a lot of like the organizing, hooking up connections, like I hook this up, so yeah.
Is there one person that's more of the face of the band than the other, or do you guys all try to be equal?
I think we've had this conversation a lot, and as much as we can, we try to make it equal. Some, like in some songs, one person will stand out more than another person, and so that's just natural. You have to just let that happen. But ultimately, like we want the band to be about all of us and all of the people who are interested in it. It's like it's about everybody, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some pros and cons about being in a band? Is there something you guys disagree on? How does that work? Because being in a group can sometimes be hard, especially at being different age gaps. You all have different experiences. Every age is important, I feel like, because everyone brings something different to the table versus how young, how old.
Yeah.
We definitely have some disagreements from time to time.
Yeah, but I think that tension is like it comes out in our music and actually makes it better. Like if you're a solo artist and you're just working on your own, you might be able to like get the vision exactly how you want it. People might really like it, but something I've just noticed with artists that have or bands that have a really strong frontman that kind of like pulls all the strings, or just solo artists, is you kind of lose the tension that you get when groups are working together, and like that tension is really important to art. I think it's important to like let that out, especially with like rock music that's really loud, energetic, angry, in your face.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you guys inspire each other?
You guys inspire me every day. Yeah. I think my guitar style has definitely been influenced by Isaac's playing. And Sean and I, like, it's hard for me to jam with other people, like, other than Sean, just because, like, he's kind of how I learned to jam, I don't know. What about you guys?
I definitely, I love to just lock in with Isaac.
Yeah.
I've gotten so much groovier, and I just got really good time since I started playing with them. And
same.
Jake, I don't know, like he really likes to play melody when we're jamming and just like go way up on the highest notes on his guitar and like mess around up there. So I got to keep something low because we don't have a rhythm guitarist, right? And I gotta keep those low notes, the bass notes, which is something I'm not usually good at. I kind of tends to be a more melodic player. So I feel like working with other musicians who are trying to put their best foot forward when you are too, things can overlap, but that can also bring out other strengths in you because there's really no other way around it.
Yeah.
And when I first joined the band, it was my first time ever being in a rock band. Like, I had never played rock music before. I listened to rock music a little bit, but, it wasn't really like the type of music I always listen to. But once I started, rehearsing with these guys a lot more, it's like the sound that we got, like, when we all started playing together, it's like that's what drew me closer to start playing with them, like, and, like, playing with these two very seriously. And like Sean said, like, me and him, like, we've like really like gelled together and locked together because me personally, I feel like the drummer and the bass player is like the main two musicians that would always want to be able to be in tune and be locked together.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Seems like you guys push each other to be better, so that's important.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
So let's talk about the name of your band, Counterproductive. What does it mean?
Sean? I've been asked this question so many times,
I
and
know.
I'm like,
this question today.
and I'm like, my brother named the band. I'm not really sure. So
We're still kind of trying to figure that out.
I think it's like the way I've kind of thought about it is we're a punk band, and Counterproductive is like we're counterproductive against society.
Yeah.
Super.
The devil's
deep.
music.
Yeah.
When I think counterproductive, I think of just like those lazy days you have. You're sitting around, you're playing video games, and you're just like frustrated.
Playing rock band,
Yeah, you're frustrated with like how you're just not getting anything done, but you just don't have a drive to.
Right.
And then the music is just, it's like an expression of that, I guess. We put everything we have into it and
try to bring people together under that umbrella to kind of like counter that frustration, like kind of live in it, but like bring a positive side to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So individually and as a band, what do you guys want to use your platform to do? So start individually.
Does anyone want to talk first?
Go ahead.
Individually, like I said, just doing this as mainly just like a career. This is like basically like part of me living my dream right now. Starting with a rock band, it's like for me personally, I never thought that I would like actually have the chance of being a rock band. But since I am, it's like I just want to be open to anything, and like just any type of artist that may ever call me to do something, you know, I want to be that type of musician, and I just want to be that type of person that I want to just be able to open up to anything, to even be able to challenge myself, because, you know, playing with a rock band, that's like really challenged me in my playing. And it's like for me personally, I personally feel like it's actually helped my playing. So, because, you know, like I said, like, I want to be that type of drummer. I want to be that type of musician that stand out from people and say, like, man, it's something about your sound that stands out and that differs from other people. So, and, you know, collectively, you know, just growing with these guys mainly, and, you know, taking this, you know, as a really business career, and, like, just going as far as we can go, you know, wherever we choose to get at, you know, I just want to ride the wave.
Yeah.
You have something, Sean? Or?
Yeah, sure. So what I just really like to do is I love seeing people just smile, dance, have fun. I think that's a big part of what our music culture is in Seattle, is just bringing light to people when they have to deal with, you know, cloudy days for a month straight, no sun, all that. It's really tough to just get through living here, to be honest. And there's that. I mean, I do want to do this as a career. I'm 16, so I'm taking steps towards that right now. And I just, the other day I was sitting in the car with a buddy of mine, and we're listening to Californication. And I was like, dude, I'm 16 right now. I feel like I could be in a band this good one day. And so, you know, I just got like an insane amount of drive, and just I really do want to be one of the best. I think it's possible if you can put yourself to it.
I think for me, I remember I was reading a book in high school, so this is like 5 years ago, and it was just like really resonating with me, and I was like I want to be able to, and it felt so good that someone was like echoing my voice, like that I could like sort of like understand this person like through this book. And I've felt that a lot in different kinds of art, whether it be like music, especially mostly music, but music, any kind of writing, like painting and stuff like that. I love art, and so I want to do that for other people. Like I want the lyrics that I write, the songs that we make, to make people feel like they're not alone, so when I write songs, like I have to dig really deep into myself to like figure out lyrics that resonate with me, because I'm kind of a romantic in thinking that like if something resonates with me, it's going to resonate with other people.
Yeah.
If it's like really true for me, then it's going to be true somewhere else. And so as far as like they talked about career stuff, like I think it'd be so cool to be in a band, for that to work out.
Right.
But right now, like music is just what makes me happy. Like I've learned that I can't live without being in a band or like just working this out. And so I'm gonna do everything I can to be able to like try to make my life, or like create a life around that. As far as like where we want to go as a band, Isaac touched a little bit about that. I mean, I'm willing to take this as far as it'll go. You know what I mean? I think the most like medium goal is like I want to play really good music festivals, like and I want to do tours. You know what I mean?
And we just did a great music festival this past summer.
Trail Mix.
Yeah.
Trail Mix.
Yeah, we're going to. I'm about to apply for Trail Mix again next summer.
Hey.
So yeah,
They're going to be in a different location next summer.
yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Dude, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So what is some advice that you guys each have for up-and-coming Seattle artists, creators, influencers?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, like, you know, whatever you aspire to be, like, even if it's not in the music world, it's like, you know, whatever you aspire to be, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Never let nobody tell you what you can't do, because as long as you have a willing heart and you're passionate about what you do, and you have a goal set in mind of where you want to go and how far you want to go, like no one can stop you from doing what you want to do. That's how I feel, and that's one thing that stuck with me in my life and in my career, because you know growing up as a little kid, you know, my family would always used to make fun of me sometimes and be like, oh man, all you ever want to do is just play the drums. All you ever want to do is just play the drums. Like whenever it was time to go to church, I was so ready to go to church because, you know, especially if I knew I was going to be playing in the service, it's like, you know, I was like, all right, come on, y'all, it's time for church. I'm ready to get to church. It's like, oh man, you just want to get to church just so you can play the drums. But it's like, you know, me having that, you know, being a drummer upcoming as a little kid, you know, that is all I ever wanted to do, and I don't ever apologize for that, you know, because, you know, I see myself doing this as a career. I see myself doing this professionally. So it's like, you know, people may have said that I do this too much. You know, I fell behind in school because, you know, I was always focused on drums and, you know, wasn't always making the best grades because my mind was focused on music instead of, you know, getting my schoolwork done. But, you know, I always, you know, passed every grade. I never got held back, and I still graduated on time. So, you know, God gets glory and all that. So, you know, that's just what I just say to anyone who's coming up as a musician or just like whatever career you have. Like, just don't let anybody stop you from what you want to do. Like, be the best you want to be, the best that you can be. And the only person that can stop you is you.
Yes. Sean?
I think it's just all about how much you believe in your dream. I mean, you want to go out there and you want to be famous, then you need to grind. You need to put every spare cent you have into it, every spare minute. And I think if you got confidence in your dream, then you can do it. But I've just seen people out there in the music industry who they want to be better than everyone else. They want to rise above, and they think they are already above everyone else just because of, you know, okay, you're a good rapper, but look how many Instagram followers you have. It doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah.
It works wonders to connect with people. I think it's a lot better to be in a supportive community, which just I don't think some people can really grasp.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just everything you have into it, everything.
Yeah, and like, first of all, the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you're passionate about the music itself. Like, it's got, like, if you want this to work for you, and I mean, part of me is saying, like, should I even like give advice? We're not even on like a super high level. I mean, things are kind of working out for us, but it's gonna be the hardest thing that you do. You know, it's gonna take everything out of you. But if you're in it for the music, if you like doing it, if it's like the reason why you get up every morning, then like you need to do it. Like you just have to. You have to do that really hard thing, and life's gonna be hard either way. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You guys are very progressive and open-minded.
Yeah.
You guys are hard workers, I can tell.
Thanks.
So, what is the easiest way to reach you guys as a band and individually?
So we have an Instagram. It's Counterproductive Band. No spaces, no punctuation. Check us out on Facebook. We have a page called Counterproductive. Our logo is a chicken with like CP behind it. As far as me, you can hit me up on Instagram. Oh yeah, and if you're like into email, we're counterproductive6666 at gmail.com. 4 6s.
4 6s.
And as far as me, look me up on Facebook, Jacob Curran. Last name is Curran.
Well, he pretty much touched on how you can reach us as a band, but for me personally, you can look me up on Facebook. I have my first, middle, and last name, Isaac Devon Ellis. My middle name is spelled Devaugghn, and that's how you can reach me on Facebook. And you can hit me up on Instagram and follow me on Instagram at Lil Ike Ellis 96. I have underscores in between the little and the Ike and everything, but you can look me up on Instagram and email. You can look me up at iellis6496 at gmail.com, and that's how you can reach me.
I'm not too much of a Facebook guy, but my Instagram is Sean the Swan 420.
Dope.
And we got Bandcamp. We have a song on Bandcamp. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But counterproductive.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
We have a single that just came out, so
Hey,
check that out.
check that out.
My favorite song.
Yes. Well, this is DJ Blake and
Counterproductive.
Yes, sir.
there we go.
DJ Blake.